Hello and welcome. My name is Dion. I call this the crazy nation of YouTube. Today we're going to do an entire face. I feel like some people missed me doing an entire face, except we do them in lives, but for regular videos for those who aren't able to make it to the lives. And I did one for the pro side of things, that membership. I do have two different memberships. So today we are pairing, y'all see my face lit up, I'm excited. We're pairing Circo Loco with Lila. And so this is what we're working with today, and I am excited about it. Today is the 28th of June. You will see this look on the 28th of June. Did I say that? Yeah. And you will see this on July 9th. And so right now, this is officially the last look in our Natasha Denona series. You will still see videos, but this is the last time of me actually creating a look for that series, and I'm excited. We're going to put on City Beauty Sangria. I need to take the stopper out because it's becoming a little difficult to get the product out, but it's still some down in the corners. So yeah, this will be a complete full face of makeup, and so it's going to be long. If I remember, I will put timestamps below. So if you want to skip to, a certain part, you can do that. Though I would love it if you stay for the whole thing. This is City Beauty Eye Brightening Cream. It is not. It's called Brightening Eye Cream. They did send this to me in PR, and I do like it. I do have on skincare now, but I've gone back to putting on eye cream, excuse me, before I put on concealer. And let me know how my under eyes are looking. This dark spot here and the same one over here, I think that's from like when I wake up and my eyes have teared while I was sleeping, and how you wake up sometimes your eyes are crusty. So I think that's what that is, because it's almost in the same spot, like on both sides. But that's what I think. So those are always there. But as far as my skin overall, ignore the disrespectful mustache area. And as far as my under eyes are looking, like as far as the discoloration and the wrinkles, like I'm like, I've noticed a difference, I think. Let me know. Like if you go back to a video like 2 months ago and I have on a bare face, let me know if I'm looking different now. The bag is always going to be there. This one's like, hey, how you doing? This one is chilling in the back. But I am using, well, have been using two new under eye products, brands that I have already been using, but just not their under eye stuff. And I've been looking at myself like I should have took a before and after picture, because I am just really digging how this is looking. This is the Y10 from Natasha Denona. I'm going to do the intro as I blend this out, because otherwise I think I will forget in case someone is new here. Hello again and welcome. My name is Dion, and I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. Why do I call it that? This is the NY11 from Natasha. Crazy concept. Be your authentic self. Yes, even in a world where people will tell you who and how you should act and who you should be and all of that, just be your authentic self. And the troll part is not caring too much. This is a Real Techniques number 210 brush. I have a lot of these. I have a lot of these. I have over 10, both for my personal use and for my pro kit. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need a certain brand, a certain tool, or a certain technique because that's what they're telling you in whatever video you're watching. Use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in the way that you are satisfied with it. And again, you set the standard for yourself. Wear whatever you want, however you want. Oh, I just said that. I did, because you set the standard for yourself. The bottom line here is self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Listen, y'all, come close. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. Yeah. Wear what you want to wear and rock it, and love yourself regardless of if you're wearing makeup at all. So I just remembered I forgot to do my brows. So we're going to do the brows. I've been doing them a little different lately. Oh, two things about me. This is the Fenty Brow MVP. It is dark black. It's their deepest shade, but on me it really doesn't look black. So I don't know. I have this one eyebrow here that is like sticking like straight out this way. and it's like I'm not brushing over. Like I'm here to stay and be seen. Oh, it did just go over. It'll probably pop back up. Two things about me. Sometimes I curse because I curse. And there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. I try to be aware of it to say, excuse me. Sometimes a few will get past me. And as I'm watching back the video or the live stream, I'm like, okay, yeah, you completely missed that one. But so those are 2 tidbits about me. And that's what the Crazy Troll Nation stands for. I do this to see if they're even, and they're not. This one is not as long as the other side, so we're just going to bring that tip down. All right, we're going to make this one pointy. Usually one comes to a point and it's tapered and the other one's not. And so I've been doing my brows differently to where I don't put much color, like the front portion of my under eye area. And I've only done it, that eyelash came back up again, just sticking straight out. And I do have brow gel, which I seldom use because I keep my brows tamed, and so I usually don't need to brush them over. And that's one reason that I like the Fenty Brow MVP, because it's actually a brush. And usually spoolies, actually always spoolies, they feel harsh on my skin. I am a sensitive person. Physically, spiritually, I am a sensitive person. And I do have sensitive skin as well. And the spoolies always feel like it's scratching my skin, even if I go gently. And so I really like that this has a brush. And also I don't need a spoolie because, as I said, I keep my brows tame. Like, you see how they look, like they're not all over the place. So we brung the top, brung is not a word. We've had that conversation before, Dion, I know. We brought the pencil liner, the pencil brow, the brow pencil to here. And so we're gonna put a line under here to where the top line stops, and we're going to fill in right here. And you did notice my tails are completely hairless. The only thing from here to here is the brow pencil, and even on me it looks, to me, brownish. It doesn't look dark black, so I'm just like, that's interesting. And the same with this one. We're going to put the brow pencil, we stopped it here and we stopped it here, and then we're going to fill in the front portion, and we're going to see how that looks. Let me know if you prefer like a whole full face video, because some people, where they are in their makeup journey is, and it's preference, they're like, just show me the look, because then they can figure out what colors and if they have something similar to use. And then some people like me, even though I'm comfortable with where I am in my makeup journey and also still learning and still growing, I still do like long form videos. And I think because that's how I learned, and so I do have a soft spot for long form, even if not like an entire face, at least the entire eye look, because sometimes they do one eye on, one eye off, or they start it and then they stop. Like, they'll place the color, they'll edit out the blending part. Excuse me. I like to see the whole process, especially with eyeshadow. And so we're just going to feather lightly, like right here. I find that doing, so do let me know that below. If you're new here, I do tend to ask a lot of questions in videos because I like the interaction, and I like for us to help each other. Like, if somebody's watching and if they are learning something, they're not just hearing my voice, you know what I mean? Well, they are hearing my voice, but as far as comments, they're reading other people's thoughts. And so it's not all about what I think. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times I will say, let's help each other out in the comments. And that's what I mean by that. Like, sharing our thoughts and our experiences so that we can, you know, just learn from each other and just hear somebody else's voice instead of just mine, or somebody's opinion, or reading somebody's opinion other than mine. So then I'm going to brush these up. And you see what I mean by saying that they're tamed? Even I brush them up, they only go but so far, because I brush them up and then, like, there's like one long hair right here, I will trim that off. And so there's usually not a need for me to even pat it down like I'm doing right now, unless I'm just trying to get the line even. And so this has a few longer hairs, and I know some people wear their brows like that. I think it's a trend, because it used to be where nobody did that, and now there are a few people that do that. And the first I've seen it was in runway looks, where they brush up the brows and just leave them looking, you know, really bushy. But and so I think other people just started doing it too. which is okay. So I brushed them up, brushed them over. This side is a little more sparse. So what we're going to do, instead of going straight across like we did here, we're going to go up like this, just to kind of fill in a little bit and see what that looks like. And you notice I still didn't put a line underneath. I have never carved out my brows with concealer or color corrector. I like makeup to look natural, to still look like the person, to still look like me, but just my complexion being the same. You know what I mean? And I don't go for like the heavy chisel look. You know, if somebody asks me for that, I'll do that. But I prefer, you know, let the skin look natural. And that's part of the motto. It's just, you know, being who you are and just rocking who you are, even without face paint on. Like still loving how you look, even without face paint on. And my belief is that it does start with skincare. You know, taking care of your skin. Because if you have textured skin, or if you have acne prone skin, and y'all see this cluster of bumps is always here. This is a breakout, this is a breakout. But I believe it starts with your skin. Like if there's a skin issue, if possible, go to the dermatologist and see what they can give you to help your skin, or products that you've used before that you know that work. I'm not saying go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff, but I feel like, and I believe, like if your skin is on point as much as possible, there won't be a whole lot to cover up. Now, if you want to change your features, that's a different thing. And some people do like that, you know, the extra snatched and the sculpt and all of that. And if that's what you want to do, like that's fine. Everything with makeup is preference. And so that's why I say, you know, use what you want to, how you want to. So this is how I've been doing my brows lately. They do start in different places and the shapes are different. One side goes straight, one side curves. And so this is my natural brow shape, because you see I didn't do a lot from here to here. I just feathered along my natural brow, and I'm looking to see if they're like the same height, but I do think we're going to leave it. If you look at people dead straight in their face, look at them dead straight at their face, if somebody's brows are completely even, or what someone would say perfect, it's because they had them put on that way. Because nobody's brows are the same. And they say brows are sisters, not twins. And that is true. So think it not odd when you're like, her brows ain't right. And even for clients, they appreciate that I keep their natural features and not make them look like somebody that they're not. They just want to look, you know, more polished, their skin, you know, all one color. So we're actually going to leave the brows like this. And again, I do know that one stops here, one stops there. This side kind of curves in, this side just kind of stops straight, but we're going to leave it because that's my natural brow shape. And so that's the camp I'm from, is just be yourself and rock it. So we're going to use this palette for our foundation. As you can tell, this is going to be a very chatty video because I'm going to be telling you everything I'm doing and all the brushes I used. This is 2 pumps of the Fenty Soft Silk Primer, and with that we're going to use 2 pumps of the Fenty Soft Matte Foundation, 2 pumps on top of the palette. And when I use the the hydrating foundation, I use the matte primer. I just love the mix of the hydrating with the matte. I like it better. In the winter when my skin is drier, what I was using, and we're just going to just pat this together. We put the foundation on top of the primer, so we're going to mix it together. This is a Sigma F08. It says precision powder brush. I like it better for foundation. This is their foundation brush. This is the Soft Collection, their Soft Collection line of brushes. This is the F48 soft coverage. This is a foundation brush. But I have trouble when brushes the bristles are this short and they're dense, because when I wash it, it's hard for me to squeeze all of the water and soap out because there's not room there, and it tends to take me longer to clean those. So I do much prefer brushes like this one, and because it's angled, I can get where I want it to go. Even like the corners of my nose, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And so I do pat on, as you see, my foundation. Some people with brushes, they swipe. Sometimes I'll swirl after I have it the way I want it, and then I'll go back and pat over where I swirled. Because some people, they say they don't use a brush because they always get streaks. And because I pat it on, I've never once in my makeup journey, I started doing makeup in 2027. I've never had streaks from using a brush. And I don't remember what technique I used back then, but I do know I've never dealt with streaks. And so we do have some more. So we're going to tap in. We're going to come around the side of our brows, and we're going to come up here. We're going to tap back in, and we're going to do up here. We're going to press, and we're going to come between our brows. And this is why I like this brush. So you see how I can get like right here. And we're going to pat this usually on my brows. Well, not my brows, usually on my forehead. I do kind of swirl, well, not kind of, but I do, but then I'll go back and pat like I was saying earlier. And there's usually a spot where, well, a place where, excuse me, I feel like foundation is not. And so I'll take the angled part of the brush and I'll swipe it in what's left, and then I'll come along the top edge of my brows. And so I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll tap it. So that's how I do that. And again, I never carve out my brows with concealer, color corrector, any of that. And I'm digging this. I am digging it. There seems to be like a bald spot right here. So we're going to take care of that really quick, which is going to be really, really quick. And yeah, that is right here. So just a few little strokes. See that? Nothing complicated. Very simple, very easy. Well, it depends, because when I was brand new to makeup, like nothing was very easy or not complicated. And there is nothing left on here. And so even though I'm rubbing, like there is just a little. So I will just come under my eye, which I didn't put foundation under my eye. And I used to do that before, but because I have wrinkles, the more stuff I put under here, the more it's going to crease. And so this is my face with foundation. If you remember what it looked like before, you did see more of my freckles, which I do like. You can still see some of them because I do like my freckles. But to me, like, this looks like me. It just, my face just looks more even. And this is what I go for when I'm working with clients. This one lady, I felt so proud, and not in a boastful way. Most people of color, we do have, like, this area of our face usually is darker than other areas of our face. And she was darker than me, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because mine to me is prominent. When I have 0 tan, I'm just like, girl, you need to do something about that. That was, excuse me, the NY12 from Natasha Denona. So we have the Y10, the NY11, the dots here, and the NY12 here. This is Estee Lauder 4N, their concealer. And so we're just going to go in between where we put Natasha. And so I color corrected, and before I even like powdered down or anything, I color corrected. We're going to use the same brush we use for foundation, and we're going to pat that out. And then I gave her the mirror. I said, what do you think? She went, I've never seen my face one color before. I felt so good. I was like, wow. Oh my goodness. And it still looked like her though. It just wasn't darker right here. She's like, I have never seen my face one color. And she just kept looking at herself in the mirror like, oh my gosh. And so this is the face with concealer around the, well, the top part of my nose too. So now we're going to prime the eye, and we're going to use the Fenty eye primer. We're going to put that on, and we're going to put it everywhere under the eye. This is not under my eye, girl. If y'all don't know, if y'all new here, I do say stuff backwards sometimes. I really do. Sometimes I catch it when I do, and sometimes I don't. If it's really bad, I'll just put text over here saying what I meant to say. Yeah, y'all, this is bad. I'm like, this is the crazy troll nation for a reason. Other than accepting our looks and wearing what we want, sometimes I am just like downright goofy, or I just be downright backwards. This one video, it was really bad. And I have a doctorate degree in psychology, so I can read with comprehension and I can speak. But it was one video in particular where I was just jumbled through most of the video, and I don't know if I was just wired on caffeine that day. Mountain Dew is my caffeine of choice, and I got to a point when I'm like, y'all know what I mean. Y'all speak troll by now, don't you? And a few people commented, yeah, we understood what you meant. We speak troll, and I was cracking up. I was like, that's kind of scary. that even when I fumble my words, or if I say, you know, I lower lash line and I'm working on my lid, this is a clean Real Techniques 210 brush. And so I'm like, that's kind of scary. Like, they do know what I mean. And it is, sometimes it's easy. Like if I say, oh yeah, I'm going to blend this on my lower lash line, y'all know this is my eyelid. So y'all know, like, okay, I misspoke. But it was something where I was just like, when I was watching it, I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? And they were like, we know what you did. I'm like, that's scary. That's kind of scary. And so, yeah, it was funny. I was just like, wow. Like, yeah, we speak troll over here. I speak English, Ebonics, un poquito of Espanol, and troll. So those are the languages that I speak. But it was just so funny to me. I'm like, wow, like y'all just, like y'all really understood. And now we're going to take MAC's Paint Pot and Groundwork. I realized that I like doing this. I haven't used this. When I use this just as a shadow base by itself, it seems to work different, and I think it's because I'm flashback into when I used Contemplative State as a shadow base, because I thought this was going to be my complexion. It's not. On my lid part, my mobile lid, down here, this area here, it looked like it was my complexion, but up here, it looked mustard. And if you look at my lids, my mobile lid, which is this part, it is a little darker than up here, especially the inner corner. There's this discoloration here and discoloration there, and I do have some freckles here and there. And so someone has said they still use their regular eye primer and they put the paint pot on top of that. And so I said, let me just try Groundwork. This one is almost my complexion as far as my eyelid, and so I do put this on over the Fenty, and I do take it all the way up, and it does add a little bit of color, but it's like, is it something there? Is it not? And I'll show you in a moment after I blend this out. So you see from this eyelid to this one, the Fenty does say Invisi Pink, so it does have a pink tint to it, but looking at them both, they do look like they're different colors. And this to me looks more my complexion, like right here, but over here it's looking darker. But because it is darker in some places over here, and because of my wrinkles, I think this does look natural. I would have to set it with powder unless I unless I kept my eyes like this until it fully dried, because you see how my crease is up under the hood, you know what I mean? It's up in the fold, and so if I just look straight up, after a while when I start blinking, it feels sticky. Even just the Fenty primer itself will feel sticky. It is a tacky primer for me. For everyone, it is not. And so sometimes I'll be talking, I'm like, okay, I need to put shadow on because my crease is getting sticky, and it'll crease if I just leave it like it is, because like this, it is going to crease because it's in the crease, and the crease is under the hood, or the fold as some people call it. And so I'm pulling this out here because we're going to wing out our shadow a little bit. And so this is what it looks like with the Fenty and Groundwork. And yeah, there's something with the shade over here, because this side to me always looks darker a little bit than this side. And even looking at both of my eyes, this one looks like it has more color, where my eyelid looks like it has more color than this side. But I do think it's the lighting, because my kitchen is over there, and I do have the light on in the kitchen, but there's no light over here. And so that is it for the eye primer. Y'all know what? I forgot to set my face. Usually I do that before the eye primer, and I do my bronzer, blush, highlighter, setting powders, and all of that. And I got on a roll with talking. So we're going to finish the face later. But I'm liking how my complexion looks. And so we're going to open up. I can believe that I forgot that part, because after I do my base face, all the complexion products, all the powders, all of that, then I'll do my inner rims. And so let me just I'm going to randomly choose two liners for inner rims. Well, one for inner rims and one for lower lash line. This one is Stay the Night. This is Matte Color Excess Gel Pencil Eyeliner, and this one is Pool Shark. So we're going to put these out because sometimes I kind of almost forget to do that. But we'll have to do that towards the end of the eyeshadow part before we move on to the face part. So we're going to open up both these palettes, and I'll show you again what they both look like. So again, this is Circo Loco, which means Crazy Circus, and this is Lila. And I like that they both have some bold colors. The brights in here, the oranges, they look exactly the same on me. Almost, not quite. This one is a matte, which barely shows up. The orange up top is the same color, but it's a metallic. And that one shows up a little bit just because it's a little shiny. But I don't know what we're going to do. I'm thinking to just do like, you know, a weird color combination, like just to see what happens. And I do encourage often to experiment with your makeup. And like how I'm saying, I don't know. And then I'm like, let's just do it. Yeah, just experiment with your makeup. And just to see like what the look is going to turn out to be. And sometimes I do play with different eye shapes and different placement. I did a reverse halo look, which is what I call it, and I put the darkest shade in the center and worked out lighter and worked in lighter versus having the lightest shade in the center. And I really like this look. A few times I've done dark to light, dark inner corner, and out light work. Out, wait a minute. See, this is one of those moments. Dark on the inside and working our way out to light versus light shade, and then work our way out to dark. So there are sometimes I'll do that, and sometimes instead of starting inside light to dark, I'll work outside dark to light. And so just doing different things sometimes just because of whatever mood that I'm in. I am starting to sweat here. So I'm looking at both of these palettes. Oh my goodness, both have reds, both have purples. This is a dual chrome because I saw copper, but then it doesn't look copper. And this shade is, let me get out my name sheet. This is Cyclone. It does say it's a dual chrome. So we're going to take Cyclone. This is an Esom V27. And we're going to put this on our inner corner. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. Oh wow. And I don't know why I'm like, oh, that's pretty, because I love these palettes for a reason. Oh man, that is nice. So just the first quarter, we're bringing it almost up to our brow. And the way my muscles are, like when you see when I frown, like my muscle is like right here. And even the pain management doctor, he was like, that's strange. I'm just like, oh, in my mind, I'm thinking, you've never seen that before? Oh my gosh. My primary care physician was talking about something one day, and I am allergic to different medications and certain things. So not only sensitive skin, but sensitive system. And I said, you know, my skin is different. And he was typing something, he stopped and he went, yeah, you're right, your skin is different. I was like, damn, dude. So, and he's a wonderful primary care physician, one of the best, if not the best, I've had in all the years I've been going to the VA hospital, because he will actually listen. And so yeah, he stopped and went, yeah, you're right, your skin is different. And he multitasks his behind off, because he'll be dealing with me and responding to messages, but he still actually hears me like at the same time, where some people, when they multitask, like something's not getting their full attention, but he be on it. And I was just like, yeah, I just said that. We're gonna do something what I call funky in a good way. We used Flip recently. I remember that Flip is this color. So, ooh, these are so pretty. We're gonna take Electric. Man, I feel like we use this too. And this is also a Esom V27. This is the older model, and you see how silver handle and the bristles, you know, they're flat this way, they're flat this way. The new one's black handle and the bristles are angled. And I love angled brushes. So when they came out with these, I'm like, y'all know, I have to get it. And I usually say, like, we don't have to. Makeup is a luxury. Makeup stuff is a luxury. But I'm like, no, I had to have it. So this is Electric. We're going to go back and blend later. Did we do this combination before? I'm going to say we may have done this color combination before, but I know not these exact colors, because I don't remember when I last paired, or if I ever paired Circo Loco with Lila. And so we're going to place y'all, these shades. We are going to go back and blend. Right now we're just getting the color where we want it. I like these brushes for when I'm doing my lids in thirds or in quarters. Another one of my favorite eye brushes are the Hourglass number 3, but you see how it's wider than this. And so if I'm doing one shade first half of the lid, another shade second half of the lid, that's when I'll use this one. Or if I'm just doing just a small area for inner corner and then I'm doing lid and leave a little space open for outer corner, I'll use this brush because I can do a wider area in a shorter period of time, where this one does allow me to do my lid in thirds or in quarters if I want to. And you can do it anyway, you would just have to overlap if you were using a larger brush. So we have this where we want it. I'm looking to see if they're the same up here, and they're not as far as the same height. And so we're going to just bring this up higher over here. Yeah, and now we're going to blend. So what we're going to do first is, this has electric on it. We're going to overlap with Cyclone. And so you see how it is starting to blend. And then sometimes I will go back and forth to blend those shades together. And so we're going to overlap first. Y'all, these shades are not wanting to budge. Oh, that turned to a nice kind of purplish color down here. Ooh. And then we're going to go back and forth where the two shades meet, and we are overlapping the first shade with the second shade. So this is kind of, not kind of, but it is mixing them together. So that's how I blend. Some people use another shade to blend out a shade. Sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't, because it blends fine for me. And so that's what that is looking like. I really like these palettes. So I mean, I don't know why I doubted I would like this look. We're going to go back to the brush that has Cyclone on it. We're not adding more shadow on it. We're going to go where Cyclone is and we're going to pull it over, whatever's left in the brush. So this is a way that I blend as well, or to further the blend. And I don't color switch because, as you see already, I go back and forth between brushes. And so that's how we get our blend here. However way blending works for you, that's the technique to use. And this is what works for me. So now we're gonna go back to Lila. I do try to use equal shades from both palettes if I am pairing palettes. And so now I'm looking in here. So many choices. Oh man, I'm thinking of this shade. This shade is Dragon Bite, and it says it's a dual chrome too. So we're gonna take Dragon Bite, and y'all are like, oh, you got a red or blue, and now you're putting a brown. Yeah, experimenting, just seeing what happens. This is what you do. And I think some people would consider this an unusual color combination, because most looks I see, and even I notice like quite a few looks I do, if not the majority of them, they do look, I don't want to say monochromatic in a way, but it's just light to dark and it's a gradient. Like nothing is really like, oh wow, that's like an orangey pink and oh, there's a blue and then a brown. Like it's really not shades that are noticeably different, you know what I mean? And then with the dual chrome and multi-chrome phase, you can put on one or two shades and it might look like what I'm doing. Well, not really, because of the boldness of these colors, but you know, sometimes, you know, and a lot of people do one and done, it's just one shade all over the lid. And if it is a multi-chrome or a dual chrome, it's going to look like different colors depending on how the light hits it and how you turn your head, and also your eye shape. And the reason I take my lid shades up to here is because this is my mobile lid. And when I look up, you don't see the mobile lid. This right here is my crease. I don't do a crease shade because when I look up, you're not going to see the crease. This is the beginning of what they would call the transition area from the crease up here. And if I did just do that, that's what you would see unless I blink or look down, and then you see here. So, but that's why I take my lid shades up to here, because whether I'm looking, you know, straight ahead or looking down, you're still going to see my lid shades. And so that's something that I had to learn too, because I was doing, you know, crease, transition, mobile lid, and I'm like, why when I look up I don't see the lid color? Like, why? Yeah, so that was something that I learned over the years. I remember one time in particular, and we're going to overlap Dragon Bite with Electric, and you know, she did my eyes at Sephora, and they say when you do transition area, they say don't do like this. But if I don't do like this, if I don't raise my brows, or if I don't look down and go like this to see all of, you know, my lid space, shadow's going to be missing. And so, but they say, you know, don't raise your brows, don't, you know, have your client go like this. And so she did my eye look, and you know, she told me look straight, and so she did my transition area, And she was like, okay, look down. She did, you know, my mobile lid. And I knew because she wasn't getting in here and I could feel it. And so after she finished the eye look, I'm like, oh, okay, that looks nice. And then I went like this and I said, can you put color in here, please? And she was like, oh, yeah, sure. So if I wouldn't have said it, I would have left there. And every time I look down, you see a bald patch, like right in here. But I felt like, okay, you work here and I'm asking you, can you put color in here? Because it was clearly a bald patch. And I'm just like, But for some people, when they're used to doing things the same way or a certain way, that's what they do for everybody, not taking into account, yes, up here looks great. When I look down, or if I'm going like this, or even just looking down far enough, you're not going to, you know, you're going to see all of this, whether there's something in there or not. But I was just like, okay, lady. And as I said, I knew it wasn't shadow in there because I felt it. When she was on my lid, she was down here, and then she said, look straight, and she did up here. And I'm like, she missed this entire area in here. And then she was like, oh, yeah, sure. And I'm just like, so I'm hoping she picked up on it, like, okay, you need to, if they have my type of eye shape or puffiness, I call all it is the puff, and, you know, they may have to raise their brows or have them look down and raise their brows to make sure you get in there. But I was just like, lady. Now we're going to go back to Circo Loco. And believe it or not, I'm thinking of Gren to put out here. That's what I'm thinking of. Part of me, too, is wanting to use Flip. And then part of me is like, take Spiral, which will just blend in. We're going to take Spiral because we don't use Spiral enough because it doesn't. Excuse me, this is another Esom V27. So for my outer corner, I usually start here where I want it to stop. And sometimes I use my wrinkles as a guide, like when, you know, so it comes down to here. And I will press upward and toward the shadow just before it. And we're going to overlap a little bit. So that's how I do that. And then if I want to try to get it more pointy, you know, I'll turn the brush and I'll just press it to see where it's going to go. And so that's that. And so you do see how that shade does kind of blend into my skin tone. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I feel like I was going to, well, of course I was going to say something. I was going to say something particular to you, and I forgot what it was that quick. So, oh, I have a poll on my community tab. I have two. One is about live streams and monetization, and the one I posted a few days after that was about the next series I'm going to do. So this is officially the last Natasha Denona look that I'm doing for now for the Natasha Denona series. And so I posted asking, like, what series should I do next? And one of the options was color combinations using my lethal palette. And so that has the majority vote right now. And unlike the United States, this is still a democracy here at the Crazy Troll Nation. And the reason that would be a color series is I have quite a few BYOPs, which means I can't say this is Circo Loco, this is that. Even though my members did help me name my BYOPs, which was exciting. I do have a membership. I have two. I alluded to that earlier. I have what I call my pro membership for people who want to see me particularly teach them something, because it would have to be they want to see me particularly, because they can just watch this video and learn from it, you know. But if it's something in particular that they want to learn and they ask me, they would see that there. I'm going to tap straight in because I want to go straight out right here with the tip of the brush. But my $2.99 a month membership, we do members only live streams. Sometimes in public live streams, I'll ask members, hey, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? So that's the memberships. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, so I asked about color series, and so that's why it would be a color series using lethal, which I don't use enough of, because again, I can't say, oh, this is Circo Loco, this is Lila, this is Celestial Mothership Mega palette. And also experimenting, we're going straight in again, also experimenting with weird color combinations, because look at these colors on my lid. Like, who does this? I do. And this again is number one, because I just like playing in makeup, and number two, to encourage you to just try new things. Because either you'll like it and be like, wow, that is different, I like it, or you'll be like, yeah, I tried it, but no, that's not for me. But either way, you'll learn something. You'll learn number one, if you like it, Number 2, if you like it but you would tweak it so you would like it better. Or 3, you would learn never ever 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 do that again. So either way, you're going to learn something. And so I am starting to sweat. I said that a while ago. So now we're going to take the E45, and I'm wondering if I should do one transition shade, which is really under my brow, or not. This is the brush that had Dragon Bite on it, because I'm looking at the space in between the top of the lid shade and my brow, and this side seems to have more space. And so the brush that had Dragon Bite, we're going to put that over Dragon Bite. We did not add more shadow on a brush, we're just feathering upward, and that's how I move my shadow without adding more, because if I add more it might be too much or too dark, and I like how it looks now. We're going to take the brush that had electric on it, that blue, and we're going to just feather back and forth over top of electric. And so that's how I bring my shadows up. And so, all right, what are we going to do for transition? You know what we're going to do for transition, or under my brow? We're going to take this orange shade because it doesn't really show up on me, and this is called Firework, and it is just a complexion thing, because for some people it does show up, but it doesn't show up much for me. And I am curious about Notoriously Morbid's shadow base. I'm torn with shadow bases, because if the shadow is pigmented or opaque, as they say, this is one eyebrow that just wants to hang down, like how this one is sticking straight out, this one is hanging down. I feel like, and let me know your thoughts, I feel like if a shadow is pigmented, it's going to show up. And there are some shadows that people are like, oh, you have to use a shadow base. Well, that means the shadow's not pigmented. And it's not a problem, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, why should I have to use a shadow base to get a shadow to show up? And I'm not knocking it. I've never tried any of their shadow bases at Notoriously Morbid, and they have a lot of different colors. And please don't tell me use a white shadow base to make lighter colors pop. That does not work for me. I did try it eons ago in a video, because somebody gave me the Anastasia, I think it was Anastasia shadow base or primer, and it was white. All it did for me was dull down the color of the eyeshadows. And I do know for some people it will make the eyeshadow color pop. For me, it dimmed it down. I don't know why. And then I thought maybe I put too much. I tried it again using less, and it dulled down the shadows. And so for me, that doesn't work. For a lot of people it does, but I was just like, what's the big deal about this? Like, this don't even look right. We're going to go on the line of where the lid shades stop and just go back and forth just to blend. And I do like this. Ooh. So everything doesn't work for everybody, like seriously, because I was just like, this is dulling down the shadows. But Notoriously Morbid, I am on their PR team, and I do have a code below. Lots of codes below, lots of shopping links below, lots of links down below, lots of information down below. So just take a gander and peek at what that is, the stuff that's down there. We're going to go back to Lila, and we're going to take this shade, which is Lila. Can you see? I'm sorry, excuse me. We're going to take this with a Scott Barnes number 60 brush, and we're going to put this, excuse me if I shook you, just right under our brow, like just under our brow, like just right here. And I love this brush for this. This is an eyeliner / lip liner brush, but I find I like it just to get that thin strip of color, like right there. So this is without, which it does look like it's something there because of the eye primer and the paint pot. So it does look like it's something there. And sometimes I won't put a shade up here, but look at the difference though. It's just very subtle, but it's pretty. They do have different color shadow bases. And so when I watch their videos, you know, she's like, we're going to use pink today, so we're going to use the pink shadow base. We're going to use blue today, the blue shadow, so we're going to use a blue shadow base. And I am curious about the shadow bases. I do have sensitive skin, so that's one reason I haven't purchased one to try it. But I'm satisfied with how Notoriously Morbid shades show up on me. Like, I don't think I need a base to get them to pop, because for me, their shadows pop. So I'm just like, okay. So now we're going to take these two pencil eyeliners. We're going to put Stay the Night on our inner rims, and excuse me if this freaks you out. because I'm going to do the lower inner rim. Can you see? And so we're going to find the line and then run it along my waterline. The inner rim is the waterline. So it's the line, it's your lower lash line rim before you get to your eyeball. So very subtle, but look at the difference. So you see it here, but then it's not there. I just love it. I started doing this back in 2007 and I've been doing it ever since. I just love how that looks. And it's very subtle. And there was a time when I thought it wasn't noticeable at all, like except to me, because I know I put it there. But I'd go somewhere and somebody say, oh, I like that green on your inner rims. And I'm like, oh damn, like it is noticeable. Like I could notice a difference, like how I just showed you. But then it's like, okay, is it really? But yeah, somebody said, I like that green on your inner rims, and it was a green on my inner rims. And the reason why I'm saying I used to not think it was noticeable is because my eyes are tearing. So we're gonna take a lipstick applicator. Sometimes when I do my inner rims, my eyes will tear a little bit. So we're just gonna put this here just to soak up the moisture before it starts to run, either tear upward or tear downward. And the reason I didn't think people could see is because I also, this is Pool Shark, I also put color on my lower lash line. And I seldom use the same color for both. So I have a lot of eyeliners and I had the nerve to buy some more different colors. And so my lower lash line eyeliner was a different shade than my inner rims. And so for them to say, oh, I like that green on your inner rims, it's not like I put green here and they were just saying inner rims. No, it was really green on inner rims and a different color where I'm doing right now. So detail-oriented people do notice. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes I wear two-tone looks out where each eye is a different eye look, but I tie it in by the eyeliner. Like if I do pink and green here and like purple and brown here, I'll put a purple eyeliner here and a pink or red eyeliner here, so that ties the look in to the other side. But some people will say, oh, I love your eyeshadow look, and I'll say, which one? And then they'll look and be like, oh, they're different. So some people really don't even notice. And so for someone to notice my inner rim eyeliner color, I was like, oh wow, like yeah, they're really looking, or they're just detail oriented. And that's something I would notice. This eye feels like it's starting to tear upward, and it is starting to tear upward. This is a brush that had Cyclone, so we're just going to press. We didn't add shadow to the brush. And I know it's weird because most people are like, tear upward, like what is that? But sometimes it will crease because with my eyes being the shape they are, when it gets wet in here, it'll end up being a bald spot in here from where the tearing just like took away the shadow. And sometimes it'll tear downward, as I said earlier. So that's always a risk that I take. So now we're going to do 2 shades on our lower lash line. This is a Makeup Forever number 210 brush. And I'm looking to see what we're going to do. We are going to do, I was going to say Aerialist and then take the purple from Lila, but for that I can just take one of these purples, and so we're not going to do that. We're going to take Razzle Dazzle, this shade right here. This is a smudger brush, and so I am just tapping straight in, and we're going to put that just under the green, and we're going to bring it out here a little bit. I think I'm going to do a red for upper lash line eyeliner because I like to tie in the upper lash eyeliner with my lower lash line eyeshadow. I might leave this like this because I'm liking how this red and the green, ooh, that looks grungy, is turning. This eye is tearing, I can feel it, and it's tearing downward too because doing this, the brush feels like it's wet. No bueno. I do like how that looks. Ooh, I like that. So let's do over here. This brush is definitely wet. Jeepers. And I'm gonna do the inside. Well, not the inside, but the first half of lower lash line. And some people also, they always do their eyeshadow first because of fallout. For me, it depends on, well, I like to do my face first regardless, but I don't usually deal with a lot of fallout. And I'm looking now, I just see like a few flakes like down here and down here. So few that I can pick them off with a lipstick applicator. So there's a fleck here and one piece right there, and then I'll just kind of wipe it off my thumb, and a piece there. I see a piece here, and you know it's not a lot when you can see specifically where the piece is. That's all the fallout I see. I thought this was but it's not. That's a freckle. Yeah, y'all, I'm 55 and I still don't know what my face looks like. This is just crazy to me when I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's a freckle. So this is still Razzle Dazzle. Is this what's falling out? But the specks look black though. Sometimes the pencil eyeliner, my eye is tearing downward. Oh, look at that, how wet that is. Damn it. We're going to take a clean lipstick applicator and just put this under here to try to catch and stop the tearing. But it does take away the eyeliner under there and the shadow. I don't know if I want to keep adding more of it, because if it's going to keep tearing, it's not going to matter. But for right now, we're going to take a little bit more Pool Shark. Put that there where it washed away in my tear. And we're going to go back with Razzle Dazzle, and we are just tapping straight in. And we're going to put that right there also. And so I am liking how the liner looks. This side has my accidental swoosh, where this side does go straight. Y'all, that is just like, girl, can you get them the same? It is still tearing up, but this is what I'm talking about. So if you see like a few bald patches in here, that's from the tearing. So we're going to tap in Cyclone. We just tapped in, and we're just going to press it. It's easier to do this, or for it not to show as much. We tapped in once and we're tapping off, and we're only doing this side because we did the other side. So at least they'll both look like they're the same intensity. And so when I do a matte on my inner corner, it's more noticeable creases. And I think it has something to do with metallics and shimmers. It has that shine. So the way the light bounces off of it, it may not look as bad as it really is, kind of thing. Now we're going to go back to Lila. Ooh, and we're going to take this shade here, which is a dual chrome. And this shade is called Juno. So it might blend in with what we have. This is a LaRouche brush. It says angled shading. It didn't work for me for that because it's too flimsy. You see this? It is too flimsy, but I love it for lower lash line because I just sweep it. So I'm kind of coming underneath Razzle Dazzle. I like blowing down, which is what I call it, my lower lash line color, meaning taking it down further and further. Someone who always does that every single look is Katie. Her channel is Makeup for Lost Time, and she brings her shadow like down to here, and I'm like, girl, do it. And it looks really nice on her too. But she always blows it out too with a wing. Just her eyeshadow in general, and it looks really nice on her. So even though I'm saying I'm blowing mine down, like compared to hers, it's like I ain't do nothing. So I like how that looks. Some of this shininess is wetness. And because this is a shimmer, it's just making the shimmer more shimmery. So I'm putting more on this side, but you see how this is still more shiny. Because it's wet under here. And so we're going to close up both of these palettes. And so how many shades did we use from each? Well, I don't know. I was going to count, but let's just keep it moving because we got other stuff to do. So we're going to finish the face because I was really about to forget that we did not finish the face, but I'm really digging how my complexion is looking. So we're going to, and I was seeing how dry my skin was because the foundation is moist, but we are going to use the cashew powder from Fenty. I am almost done with this powder, and I am so excited to be almost done with this powder because I missed my fashion fair. But fashion fair is my my go-to powder. So we're going to just tap it, and you can see it, and then we're going to go back and blend. And so right now we're just getting it everywhere, and you can see it puffing up in the air. And I do have puffs here, but for some reason I haven't used them for setting powder on my face. I don't know why, because I don't know if I should say most people, but some people do use a powder puff to just press the shadow in. But because I pat like I do, I'm like, am I already patting it in? You know what I mean? So I don't know. And then I'll go back and, you know, blend it, which is what I call just swiping it around, making sure it's everywhere, touching my face to make sure it's dry before I go in with bronzers and things like that. And you'll notice I didn't go under the eye. I'm going to take the brush that we use for our concealer, and we're just going to pick up some powder on that brush, tap it off, and we're going to set under my eye. I'm only going up as high as the bottom edge of the shadow under here, so we're not covering up the shadow. And usually I do this before I do my shadow, but I think I was excited to hang with you all today because I completely forgot that part. And so pulling this down, you can see where it was wet. So you see how this is just like regular, right? And pulling this down, it's like, oh, there's a lot of brightness. That's because it's wet. And so usually when I do powder down my face before my eyeshadow look and it's still tearing upward, yeah, I see a bald spot, I will take the powder up under my, what is that called? Up under my lash line. I have an itch right here. And so then we'll just do that. There's a little bit left in the cat, so we're just going to do that, and we're going to just make sure it is everywhere on the face. And then we're going to go in with our bronzers, blush, and highlighters. Oh, I knew this was going to be a long video, but this is longer than I thought. So let me know, though, if you do enjoy like these super long, very detailed, and I'll say informative only because I'm telling you like every single thing I'm using, including brushes, which I know I didn't say it. This is the Scott Barnes number 64 brush. I only buy his brushes when they're 30% or 40% off because some suckers are expensive, but I really like how they perform. So sometimes I'm lazy and I'll use this also for bronzer, blush, highlighter, setting powder, well, finishing powder, because this is the setting powder. There's a difference between setting powder and finishing powder, but we're not going to do that today. So since we're being informational and all of that, we're going to use different brushes. This is Sigma F11 Soft Sculpt, and so this is actually, well, I use it for bronzers. We're going to pick two, well, we're just going to do one bronzer today and one blush. Sometimes I use two bronzers, two blushes, two highlighters, two finishing powders, but for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to use one. So this is Deep Level 9 from House Labs, and that's what it looks like. And so we're going to swipe both sides, and you can see the natural contour in my face already. It's right here, and when I smile it just kind of rounds it out, but you see here, you know what I mean? So you see this mark up here, this line, the darkness for my contour, and you see how it comes to here, the same on this side. And so what I do is I place it here like at the top of the line, and I'll just bring it straight down, and then I'll come over here and I'll do the same thing. And so you see where that is. And then, you know, I'll just keep whatever's in the brush. I'll just keep swiping, and then I'll blend upward. I do use bronzer and contour interchangeably, but this is how I do that. And when I do use an actual contour shade, it does look different. I can notice a difference, but for me, it's just like whatever. And I'm gonna use the tip of the brush, do a little bit here in front of my ear, tip of the brush twice, look by my ear, tip of the brush, and then we're going to come here, tip of the brush twice, and down here. So this is what I mean when I say I also use it as a contour, because usually they contour where the hollow is and under here, but I use bronzer and blush interchangeably. Tip of the brush on my nose, because I have a big nose. I never, ever, ever highlight my nose because it's big enough, and I don't want to have a disco ball on my nose because you can see it already. So imagine if it was a ball of light right there. Like, what? No thank you. And you see the way the light hits my face, it looks like it's shining anyway. So it's like, why do I want to make that part look bigger? I don't. I also never contour my nose because it goes back to just accepting your features. I'm not trying to catfish nobody. Like, just enhance the complexion. This is tearing upward, but it's not horrible, I don't think. Only looking at my wide nose. I'm trying to see what you're seeing, because down here I can't see what you're seeing because I'm looking down here. So we're going to put that brush away. I can put all these eye brushes away, and when I say away, I have a container here. These came in a 2-piece from Target. This is where I put my brushes when I use them, and then I take this in the kitchen, put it next to my sink to be washed, so that way everything stays together. I gotta remember to do upper lash line. We're gonna pick semi-randomly a House Labs blush, and I say that because I'm not able to store the newer ones with, well, I can, but I wouldn't want to because they're different sizes and I store stuff in size order. So semi-randomly, because I have 5 of these, and I used to just say randomly, but it excludes the 2 smaller ones. So I say semi-randomly. So this that we semi-randomly picked is a size Sky. And we're tapping straight in. I'll be making noises. This is the F43. It's a soft angled cheek. We tapped it in a couple times, y'all. And I'm tapping lightly because this, y'all. And so I'm tapping lightly. You see I tapped like 2 or 3 times here and then came over here. Because if I just stay on the one side, it's going to be like super dark. But it'll still be pretty. So we're just patting it where I want it. Oh, y'all, I love these House Labs blushes. And so we are going to swirl right here because I do see a line right here. And actually we just blended it out. We don't have a highlighter on, but look how this looks though. Look at the way the light naturally hits faces. It's like, do we really need to do all the things? And I know that's the thing to do. But I'm just like, but we are going to use a highlighter though. And so right now I'm looking to see if the blush is kind of stopping in the same place. And I did not tap back into the product. Y'all look at, this, woo, ain't no joke. We're going to put that brush into the dirty pile. This is the Sigma highlighter brush, and it says high cheekbone highlighter brush. This is the F03. We're going to randomly pick a House Labs, oh gosh, highlighter. This one is raw amber. I was hoping for fire opal, but I am glad we didn't get chocolate opal because chocolate opal makes me toasty, and that I put strategically in certain places on my face. I don't use it as a highlighter, but as you see for raw amber, I will put it as a highlighter. It kind of blends in a way. If I use it a lot, it will make me look toasty and shiny at the same time, just like chocolate opal. That makes me look really toasty. So that's raw amber. So it kind of blends in. It has just a little bit of shine, but I like it. I like it. So we're going to put that brush away. Now we're going to randomly choose one of my 4 Hourglass finishing powders. And I'm hoping not dim light, because I don't put that under eye, because it makes my under eye look funky, and I don't put it here. It makes this part look funky because of the color. And I'm hoping not for eternal light, because that makes me look toasty. But what did we pick? Dim light. So we're not going to put this under the eye, and this side is still tearing. So you see how far down like this shine is versus over here? That's because this is wet. Because yeah, see that this side is wet. So for dim light, it's described as neutral peach beige. I know that because I have a label here. Hi, my name is Dion. I'm a label whore. And so we're just going to do this, and we're going to put this up here. Dim light, I like it for the summer months because it does dim things down, but it doesn't take away the shine. Like you still see the highlight. You still see how, well, I didn't put it on my nose, but you still see the light on my nose. And so for the cheek area, I just swipe once and I swipe once, and then I kind of just go up and down and then back and forth. So we are using both sides of the brush, and I am avoiding this area. So we're here, here, and here, and here. And that's it for that. Now we're going to take our finishing spray, which is from Scandinavia. This is the bridal formula, and it's called the makeup finishing spray. I do like to, again, set my face, excuse me, before my eye look, and definitely before I spray, because sometimes if I spray too much, this will cause my eyeshadow to crease because I have the puffiness. And so if I do this as I do when I spray my face, if it's wet in here and then I look up, it's going to crease, just how my tear is creasing over here. So we're going to shake it up. My suggestion, and I see people that haven't done it and they're like, oh my gosh, it's spitting at me, it's just acting crazy. I always do that first to see how it's going to come out in case it is clogged up, and then I'll close my eyes. 1, 2, 3, because I have a big face. So 1, 2, 3. I think this is the same people who formulated this one also formulated the Urban Decay. I forget what their spray is called. Some people say they're exactly the same. They are not. They are not. The Urban Decay ones, they turn into an oil slick within 3 hours. So I can guarantee you it's not the same formula. And that would be deceptive for the brand to have 2 different products and they're the exact same formula. This is not the same. Scandinavia formula is not the same as the Urban Decay formula, but they are created by the same people. But the formulas are different. But the Urban Decay one, well, actually this one says it too. Apply over, shake well, which I did do. apply over makeup, spray 2 to 4 times, and an X, so that would be 1, 2, and then a T formation, 3, 4. But for me, I just go, and some people tilt their head back and then they just kind of spray like more so in the air and just let it fall where it may. But I, you know, whatever works, there's no right way to apply whatever you're applying. Just do what works for you. So that is that. Now we're going to do, I love the lower lash line looking grungy, and I love that this side is straight, but this side has that swoosh, so it doesn't look the same, but that's okay. Now we're going to pick out an eyeliner color. I'm thinking to use, I was thinking to use either Max Groundwork, well, Max Paint Pot, because I do have 2 other colors, 2 other colors, or their fluid line, because that'll be, most likely someone will have a gel liner versus a water liner. This is the Lethal Water Liner Bundle. There is one more, it's a black. You see this holds 9, it didn't fit, so that's in another palette. And I seldom use black for my upper lash line anyway, so it didn't bother me to not put that in here. But I'm thinking to use, I think we're going to use today for Melt Cosmetics, just because for teaching purposes or demonstration purposes, I think people will have a potted liner over the water liners, and so we're going to use, I haven't used this in a while, this is Fortune, it's a green, so we're still dealing with unusual color combinations, even though there's green underneath, but then we covered it up. So this is what Fortune looks like, and we're going to take this stained beyond cleaning the color out of it lethal brush, and I use these for the lethal water liners, and so it struck me crazy that it creased, I mean not creased, but that it didn't clean out, because I'm using the brush that comes with the, well, not comes with the liners, but it's the same brand, and all of them are stained. I have a few. So we're swiping in here, and then I'm running the brush along the edge to get the excess off, and then we are going to, yeah, this is a bald patch right here. I don't know if you can see it because of the shine. Is this dry? Wait a minute. Are you almost done? Huh. This might be done. And I just realized I have not gone back to clean up fallout. I don't get a lot of fallout when I do my eyeshadow. And I don't know why, because some people say they always do. And so I don't know if it's brushes. I don't know if it's techniques. I think this is done because this is very dry. I know there's mixed and mediums you could mix in to revive stuff that's dry. The PAO one here was March this year, and today is June 28th, and so technically it is done, but yeah, it's very dry. But we're gonna do our best to make it work, and I don't want to put on like more and more and more like on the brush. So we're gonna bring this out on top of the red. So this eye is done. Let me take out my mascara and mascara base right now before I forget. And while I am doing this, I am thinking of what lip color to use. My favorite lip color for myself is black. A couple people have told me a black lipstick is my nude lipstick. And for me, number one, it goes with everything. Yes, it can be bold. If I'm doing a light ethereal look, it can just be like, whoa. But it doesn't look to me like, oh my God, what the hell did she do? And I've had someone comment, not to me, well, yeah, it was to me, but it wasn't on one of my videos. Someone had asked in their video, like, what would you, it was actually a community post. They asked, you know, what would we like them to do? And they asked for something that's outside of their comfort zone, because some people, they do the same types of looks, the same type of ways. And so I had said, you know, a bold eye look with a black lip. And that's something I would do, that I do quite often. Because they say bold eye, nude lip, nude eye, bold lip. And I'm just like, do whatever. I like bold both places, colorful both places. And so somebody commented under me like, yeah, that would be different for her, but it's hard to pull off a black lipstick unless it's Halloween. And I'm just like, they must not have seen my videos, which I don't think they did, because the channel I was on is a different demographic than the Crazy Troll Nation. And then I was excited to see that somebody commented to that person saying, a black lipstick doesn't always look like it's Halloween. For some people, that's what they wear and they rock it and looks really good on them. So I was just like, yeah, tell them. Cause I was just, and I didn't reply back to that person because actually I did. I said, well, black is my favorite lipstick to me and I wear it quite often. And a few people have told me a black lipstick on me is my nude. And it's not a nude shade for me because I'm tan. You know what I mean? But they're like, for you, it goes with everything. And so I don't know. And there are some people who do love bold lipstick in general. But yeah, some people are like, yeah, don't wear that unless it's Halloween or you're going to a party. And I'm like, why not just wear it? And I do understand if you're very fair, if you have a very fair complexion, a black would be stark. I know people who are goth, they're fair complexion, and they do put on a lighter foundation on purpose and do a black lip, and they rock it. Oh, the swoosh is almost gone. My liner wings almost look straight. Oh, that's nice. So it's like whatever your preference is, but like some people just have a hard time coming outside of their box. Like just because you might think no one can pull it off except this Halloween, and somebody else besides the one I just mentioned, they commented to her too saying black lipstick on people looks really nice. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, tell them. Because I was just like, okay, this person is stuck in their box, and that's okay. This is Lancome's. I didn't tell y'all the brush this was. I did say it was a lethal brush. This is the lethal 240 pointed liner brush. That's what this is. This is the only one of their eyeshadow brushes or eye brushes that did not fall apart on me. All the other ones, they fell apart quick, and I was going back and forth with them for like a refund or a partial refund because I bought this set and the face brushes held up well, but the eye brushes within like 2 months or less, they have fell apart. So we were going back and forth, and then they ended up saying they would give me partial credit, and I said, well, that's fine. And that was acceptable to me because I got the set, and so it was face brushes and the eye brushes. The only ones I was having an issue with were the eye brushes. But I was like, a brush should not be falling apart. Like when I say fall apart, I mean like this, the ferrule came apart from the handle within 2 months. That was Lancome Sills Booster XL Mascara Base. I believe the new ones may say Mascara Primer, but it's the same thing. Mascara Base, Mascara Primer. This is Esom, and it's called The Mascara. The Mascara. So we're going to put this on. I have an eyelash right here. I'm going to scoop that off. So let me know, like for you, do you normally get fallout? Do you do your base first, like all of your complexion products first, and you do your eye look second, or do you do it the opposite way? Do you do your base first, your complexion products, and your eye look second, or do you do your eye look first and then you do your face second? There is no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever works for you. And so let's help each other out in the comments. Because sometimes people they're taught by what they're watching. This is how you have to do it. And they just always do it that way. They don't question it. They don't try anything different. And so again, you know, this is how I do mine, even though I didn't finish the face till later because I forgot to set the foundation and do bronzer, blush, highlighter. But normally I do that first, and then I do my inner rims, lower lash line, and then I'll prime the eyes and do my eye look. But what's your process? What's your order of makeup application? And also, do you tend to get a lot of fallout or not? Sometimes when I do get more fallout than today, like I was able to pick the pieces off. Like it was only like 5 or 6 like pieces. If I do have a little bit more fallout than that, usually it's from a shimmer shade. And because I have on my highlighter, sometimes it'll just blend in with my highlighter. And so I don't make a big deal about fallout on me because it never looks like fallout. It looks like it's my highlighter. On other people, I do the same thing. I may just go back and add setting powder on top of it, or I may add more highlighter, especially if it's like right here. I'll just put highlighter. But I do understand for like if I was doing a headshot makeup look, or you know, if I was doing a photo shoot, it is really important not to have that extra shimmer and shine unintentionally. And so I do know the importance of not having fallout. And also for like bridal, which I don't do bridal makeup. If I was asked, I would, but I don't really want to. Not for like regular general bridal makeup, because to me, I like color, and it's usually not colorful. But for that, it is important too, because for flash photography, if I had one piece to fall out here, and it's going to show up on that picture. And so, you know, it is a thing to like not have fallout. But for me personally, it's not a big deal. Y'all, look at my lashes. These lashes over here are longer than over here, but I love this mascara. So what we're gonna do for lip, thank you for being here with me, because this has been a lot longer than I thought. But again, very detailed, a lot of information telling you every single thing I'm using, including what brushes, and why I choose what brushes. I didn't say why for the blush brush, but why is because you saw how it being angled, but it's almost flat. It's not completely flat, but you saw how I did just tap that on. That's why I like this for this. And the highlighter brush, just swoosh, 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 swoosh. And so I do like these types of brushes for a highlighter. And you don't have to use a brush for what it says it's for. It's whatever you're comfortable with using. So I'm wondering if I want to just be simple, right? And put this on. I haven't used this in forever. This is Kaboom from Fenty. It's described as a shimmering holographic black. I haven't used this in a long time. So we're going to be simple. Even though I want to do a black lip. I want to do a black lip, but we're going to be simple. Let's do a black lip. And we may tap some of this on a sensor. If I put too much of any gloss over a liquid lipstick, it's going to break down the matteness of that liquid lipstick. And so, that's my mirror. And tilt it forward so I can see. Excuse me. So we are going to, I seldom ever line my lips. But you know what? Let's do it today just because this is Black Lips NYX Professional Makeup Retractable Lip Liner. I tend to prefer, I tend to prefer retractable eyeliners for interims and upper lash line, because I find for me, and I'm sure it's user error, but when I use a pencil brush, a pencil liner, that I have to sharpen, after I sharpen it, it's never the same, and I don't want to put something jagged on my inner rims or my lower lash line. So that's why I prefer retractable gel pencil liners for inner rims and also lower lash line. For lip liner, I don't mind having to, I had an itch on my arm. I don't mind having a pencil liner, and I do have a couple also from NYX. This is NYX, and this is Alien. This is their suede matte lip liner. This is not retractable, and this one you do have to sharpen, but because it's for my lips, it doesn't feel as scratchy or harsh as eyeliners on my inner rims and lower lash line. But this is a retractable one from NYX. I don't think they make the suede matte lip liners anymore. I've learned the hard way not to talk when I'm doing my lips, because I used to try to talk through it and then it'd be looking all jacked up. I don't overline my top lip line, and even I don't line often, but even when I put on liquid lipstick, I am a liquid lipstick person. I have no bullet lipsticks. I don't overline. My lips are naturally crooked, and wearing a dark lip liner or a dark lipstick, it accentuates how crooked my lips are. And so I don't try too hard to make it look symmetrical, because my lip shape is my lip shape. When I work on other people, I do work to get it symmetrical. But for me, it's not a big deal. So this is my lip shape. Sometimes I'll fill in my lips, and sometimes I won't. So we're gonna put that down. This is MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color, and I freaking love this thing. What annoys me though is that the next darkest shade is a purple shimmer, and I'm like, why it just couldn't have been a deep purple? So I have a lot of the Sephora collection cream lip stain liquid lipsticks, because they have a lot of colors. They have funky colors too. This is one of my most recent. So when I say funky colors, I mean colors that are funky in a good way, meaning they're different. And this will look nice with this look too. And so I do have quite a bit of the Sephora, and I think I have more Notoriously Morbid than anything. So we're going to take the MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color and put this on. I like this formula a little bit better than the Sephora. With this, I never need to go back in and double dip. The Sephora ones I do, and the Sephora ones are a little more, not a little more, because this doesn't make my lips feel dry. The Sephora will make my lips feel dry a little bit. I never fully mash my lips together, because look at my lips. Oh, you can't see now. My top lip, especially in the center, comes out further than my bottom lip. And so the reason I'm careful if I do go, because I don't want that overlap, because this peak will be down here. And this is how I'll prove it to you. For most people, when they do, you know, mash their lips, then they'll go like this, because they're cleaning up the lip line, because their top lip may be out a little bit further than their bottom lip. And then they'll do it again and then go back with their finger, and I'm just like, if you just stop. And what made me aware of that was a long time ago. I let the lady at Sephora do my face, and so she did my lips, and I kept, and I'm not doing it now, so I'm like, and so I really did how people do. They mash their lips together and they do all that, you know. And so then she kind of looked at me, and then she, you know, went in and did some more stuff. Y'all look at this lip color. Tell me this is Halloween. This is not. But and then the third time I did it, she said, okay, look, I'm gonna need you to stop doing that. And I was like, sorry. And that's when I started paying attention. Like, yeah, because I would be the one that would, you know, do all of that, and then I go back with my pinky finger and clean it up. But it's because, you know, just don't do that. Or if I do it gently and just the inside. I don't ever like fully commit. You know what I mean? So, but this is the look. So we are going to just tap this on the center. Sometimes I also put eyeshadow on my lipstick. And so that's why I don't buy a lot of glosses, because I can put on any color liquid lipstick and just put a shadow on top of it to give it that shine. And it's not going to break down the matte-ness of my liquid lipstick. Yeah, but that's for another video. So I do that sometimes too. But look. So we're going to put Kaboom. It's just going to add it. Just oh, some of it dropped off onto my Circo Loco palette. So let me clean that up before it dries with a lipstick applicator. So yeah, we're just gonna put this right here and a little bit, not all the way over. Yo, I am feeling it. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you enjoyed this. If you stayed until if you watched the whole thing, put 2 black hearts. Let me know what you think about this look. It is a different color combination. I don't want to say weird, but a different type of color combination. And this did stop tearing, but I do see where the shadow right here in that one spot is a little bit lighter. I don't know if you're seeing it or not, but we're just going to leave that like that. I love the lower lash line because it turned grungy. I love the wings. I love the lipstick, of course. And as far as the face stuff, like it still looks like me, just a little color here, a little color there, and everything just flows, I think. So let me know. And even looking at my nose, it's where the light hits it, it's still shining wherever I go. So there's the light. When I turn, now it's here. If I turn this way, now it's over here. I never highlight my nose, like not ever. And if you do, not a problem. I don't, you know, like my Cupid's bow because it looked like I was drinking milk. Like I just and I don't highlight my chin or my forehead because look at my forehead. Like the light is bouncing off of my forehead, and so I just don't feel the need to do that. And it is noticeable to me that other people do, because it's like extra shiny here, extra shiny here, extra shiny here, here, and here. But like the light is naturally going to bounce off of my big face. And so thank you for being here. Leave your answers below. Do you do your eyes first or your face first? Do you get a lot of fallout? Also, how do you feel about wearing bold lip colors? Shout out to Jan, excuse me for smacking. She does like a lot of different lip colors that are really bold, and I love it. She's on Instagram. I'll put her Instagram below. Hey, Janet. What else? I think that might have been it. I think if I missed something and you heard me ask another question in the video, please answer that back. Don't forget I do have membership information down below. If you click the link, it'll tell you what the perks are. It's not going to automatically sign you up. So, but I would love to have you subscribe. I would love to have you join the membership. And those two community tab polls that I have, if you can just head on over there and answer those, that would be great too. So we're going to go. Stuff is popping up for you to watch. Continue to hang out with me, and if not, I always have content here. You can always come back. I will be here, I promise you. And thank you for watching.